Okay, so I have my Stihl MS180C, and as you can tell by the pull cord, it needs replacing. So I've taken the screws out so far. This has come off the side of the chainsaw. We have the screws. You can find them quite easily, and they're torque screws. So you will need a torque screwdriver to take them out. So now that I have this off, what I'm going what I'm going to do is remove the pull cord, the old pull cord, and then install the new one. So I've been to my local Stihl shop and bought a length of rope, which is the same rope that the chainsaws are sold brand new with. So this length cost me about $5. What I also had to do to get the side of the chainsaw off, this part here, is I had to take the caps, both the bar lube tank and the fuel tank cap had to come off. So what keeps these caps in these little plastic parts, so you just need to spin them sideways so that they'll actually fit through the hole. You'll notice I've also removed the top of the chainsaw. This is really quite easy. There's a lock, that little black lever there that you can see. That's like a lock switch. You just basically lift it up, and then you've got the choke switch, which is this part here. If you can see that, that part goes all the way down, so that lid over there can come off. And then it just lifts off quite easily. Now this is the inside of the pull cord, and we've got a slip pin here that's basically holding that assembly together. So what I'm going to do is take that pin off so that this assembly here can come out. Then I'm going to be able to tie the end of the rope to the inside of the pulley before installing it, and then obviously having it come out the handle section here, and then that slip pin will just slip straight back on. So you'll probably need a screwdriver for this job. I would say too that while you have this apart, mine's actually quite a new chainsaw, so it's not quite it's not that dirty at all. But if yours is, I would suggest that you clean out all the gunk that's in here as well. A good way to do that is with just basically some petrol and a paintbrush of a kind, and just basically clean it all out, let it dry, and it'll be good as new. Okay, so now I have the spring off. A good tip is to maybe cover it, or just make sure you know where the clip goes, because if it comes off quickly, it could spring somewhere and you may not find it. So there's the clip right there. Good idea maybe to take a photo of it with your phone before you take it off, just so you know which way it goes back, because as you can see it's quite unique and needs to go back in the exact same way that it came off. So once you have taken that off, you need to remove the white plastic hub. Now just make sure that you keep all the washers and everything that come with it, and then you can remove the steel inner section as well. Just like that. Now you've exposed the actual spring-loaded area where the rope is, and you can see in there that that's where the knot is of the other end of the rope. So what you're going to do is basically remove the remnants of the old rope, and then we're going to retie it into the end of the handle, which you can follow your nose and sort of figure that out for yourself. And obviously it needs to be tied back in the center of the pulley here. So you'll need to burn off the ends with a lighter, just so it doesn't fray, and make sure you tie a good knot in there, couple of knots when you're pulling it through. I would, with your new rope, make it a little bit longer than the one that's in there. At least you can shorten it if it is a little bit too long. Okay, so I've turned the flash on my phone on as well, so it might be a little bit brighter than the last frame that you were watching. But what I've done is, you can see that I've cut the pull cord off, and I've basically let the spring unwind, and I've pulled it all the way through. So you can see that's the knot there. So what I'm going to do is just use some pointy nose pliers to pull that out, and then I'll cut off my new piece of rope to the appropriate length compared to the rope that was in there. Remembering to do it just a little bit longer so that you can shorten it if need be. So I was having trouble threading the new rope through the holes because they're quite small and the rope fully fills the hole out. So what I've done is I've got some thin wire, as you can see there, and I've fed that through, and I've actually hooked it. Not sure if you can see, but I've hooked it through the end of the rope, and I intend to pull that through. And there's the end result. So I've now pulled the end of the wire away from the end of the rope. Now I'll just tie it off into a knot, burn the end, and continue on. Okay, so I've got my rope in there, and you can see that I've tied the knot off, and I've pushed it right down into that little valley there where it's supposed to go. Now what we want to do is all of this excess rope that's loose at the moment, we're going to feed it in and wind it round in a clockwise direction as you turn this spring-loaded pulley here. So I've got it all back together, which is really quite easy, and I've got that slip pin back in there as well, which was easier to get back on than it was to get off. So you can see that a little bit of my rope is sticking out from the pulley there, so I can already tell that that's excess, and I've got the right tension on my pull cord as well. So what I'll probably do is see how I've left a bit of rope through the handle is after I've reassembled it, I'll just pull through a little bit of rope to shorten it and tie it off. Alright, so I have it all back together, lid back on, case back on, all the screws back in, and I did have to chop off that little bit of extra rope that I spoke about earlier, and now it's like a perfect brand new ripcord.